Hello, and welcome to TechWatch, the EdTech video news program produced by eSchool News. I'm Laura Devaney. At the Consortium for School Networking's annual conference in March, eSchool News sat down with author Daniel Pink, whose new book, A Whole New Mind, offers a guide to surviving, thriving, and finding meaning in an outsourced and automated world. Pink argues that, as the economy changes to support novelty, nuance, and customization, the old-school educational methods of routines, right answers, and standardization are not aligning with the country's best interest. eSchool News assistant editor Maris Stansberry has the story.
Dan Pink, who's hot on the education circuit this year, recently sat down with me to discuss his theory on why employers are demanding new skills from their employees.
Well, I think it's a matter of economics. There are three forces that are tilting the scales: abundance, Asia, and automation. So you have this incredible factual sense of abundance in Western countries, so that every material need is satisfied and oversatisfied. So that means, as a business strategy, you either have to make a huge conceptual leap or infuse your offering with aesthetics or design or story or something like that. And then Asia means that the routine, reductive, rule-based, left-brain work, certain kinds of accounting, certain kinds of programming is going overseas. That left-brain work has become commoditized, the routine, rule-based kind of things where you can sort of specify it, say, do these 4 steps and deliver the correct answer. That kind of work has become a commodity. And then automation is doing the same thing. That is, automation is doing to our left brains, the logical linear side, in some sense what machines did to our back last century. And so, because of these three forces, you have to be able, just as a matter of just plain simple economic survival, you need to be able to do work that's hard to outsource, hard to automate, and that delivers on these growing demands of an abundant society. And that means that these left brain abilities are absolutely essential, no question, indispensable, but not enough. And these right brain abilities increasingly have become the first among equals. Basically, I think many educators would agree that if this analysis of the economy is correct, that we're moving from a world that prizes these more right brain abilities, and that schools in some ways are moving in precisely the opposite direction, essentially fighting the last war. And so, if that's the case, then I think there are a few things that we can do. Again, I'm not an educator, so I'm just throwing these things out as a layperson looking from the outside. One of them is to recognize that it's a legislator's fault, not the school, not teachers or technology officers or principals or superintendents. That the legislators are imposing these rules, and it's hard to do systemic change when someone else is in control of the system. So I think that shaking up the legislators is important. I think there's also tearing down the walls between boundaries, between disciplines. So team teaching and showing that that instead of frog marching kids from math to science to English, showing the connections between the two, doing kind of longer-term multidisciplinary projects and things like that. I think infusing arts throughout the curriculum, not as an ornamental add-on, a nicety, but as something fundamental. That is, I think that artistic thinking, that is big leaps of conceptual analysis, seeing something that no one else sees, giving the world something it didn't know it was missing. That kind of the thinking that I think underlies artistic expression, whether it's visual arts or musical arts or dance. I think that is fundamental now economically. And the idea, but again, here we are cutting arts programs. So I think infusing autonomy into the system is really important. I think teachers, students just don't have enough autonomy, and I believe that if you give people autonomy and high expectations, they'll do extraordinary things. And so those are a few of the sort of the collections of ideas that I think can go a long way in helping reform and revive the system. But again, the reality check here is that the teachers and technology officers and principals don't control the design of the system itself, and that's a big problem.
eSN TV, your #1 source for video news and information from North America's leading EdTech publications, from the world's foremost EdTech website, the eSchool News Network, America's EdTech authority. Watch eSN TV. Encounter the field's most fascinating personalities, the innovators who are turning the old school into the e-school. Watch eSN TV. Meet notable educators, advocates, and leaders. Watch eSN TV. Get real-time coverage of EdTech's most important gatherings. Stay up to the minute. Get the EdTech news and information you need to succeed. Watch eSchool News TV.